So, hello everyone. Welcome to the second episode of Island Voices. I'm here in Barbados with Barbadian Kashawn Hall. He's going to be telling us a bit about his work. He's a researcher at the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology, but also has published several papers pertaining to ocean energy, particularly our favorite topic, OTEC. So, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. So,
Good.
tell us a bit about yourself, your story.
Well, my name is Kashawn Hall, Barbadian. I'm currently a PhD candidate at the University of the West Indies, KFL campus. My research topic is a technical study of ocean thermal energy conversion for Barbados. I would say I first got into renewable energy back in Trinidad, where I did my bachelor's. My first foray was kind of researching marine current turbines for the area between Trinidad and Venezuela. So that was my first real dip into renewable energy. Getting back here and starting to work and getting into contact with my supervisor, Devon Gardner, he gave me the research topic that I'm now working on. So yeah, that's my introduction into OTEC.
Excellent. And what was it like growing up in what parish in Barbados?
St. Michael.
Okay, St. Michael. What was life like?
Uh, Life was pretty standard, everything was in walking distance,
Yeah.
walk to school, walk back home. So life was pretty good. Here in Barbados, it's always hot, but the beach, luckily, is always a stone's throw away. So that's
That helps,
fantastic
doesn't it?
island life,
Yeah.
Island life.
So, what was it that actually inspired you that, you've done you're a civil engineer and renewable energy is going to be your point of focus. What was the driver for that?
I would just say interest. My first interest was in wind turbines. I remember it. 16 years finding out Bay of Fundy, marine current turbines operating under there, going to Trinidad, getting the opportunity to study the marine current turbines there. The interest just continued to build, and this opportunity came along, which I, of course, took with open arms.
Yeah. And how did that transition from marine energy, where you're talking about in-stream, tidal and wave, into OTEC? What was the reason for that?
Honestly, I took the opportunity that came my way. Honestly. But it very much helped because I had the background already looking at the bathymetry, looking at current speeds and whatnot. So that was an easy transition into OTEC. We're very big into having the right bathymetry, having the right thermal difference and whatnot. So that played a large role into easily guiding my path into OTEC. Yeah.
Okay, and you've published a few papers on
A few papers.
OTEC, yeah?
One paper, site selection for Barbados. That is out renewable energy. I have another one within the works right now, and several other papers due to my work at the CMA.
And tell us a bit about that paper, site selection for OTEC in Barbados.
Oh, well, what we did was that we divided Barbados and the ocean space into quadrants. So we have north, east, west, south, of course. And then we looked at the thermal difference, the bathymetry, the distance to the national port here, distance to electrical stations on the island, and land and space use like fisheries and recreational economic activity along the coastline. And then we did a multi-criteria decision matrix, and that came up to show that the East Coast plant location was the best. Of course, it has the shortest distance because the Caribbean shelf drops off into the Atlantic basin on that side of the shore. So it's about 4 kilometers away. The thermal difference is pretty much the same. The island is a dot in the ocean. So yeah, and economic activity, of course, is to the west side because it's sheltered from the Atlantic Ocean because of the island. So the East Coast location is prime location, and it has Concept Bay, which is on that side of the island, right there for easy access and transport between the potential plant, and the coast.
And how did you consider the risks of tropical storms, which is a big focus point for any renewable energy project in the Caribbean?
Really and truly, I'm a student of the literature. So what the literature showed that you would need something like a barge or a plant ship that has its own propulsion, or it can be pulled by a ship to disconnect from the riser and move itself out of the way of the tropical storm, because first generation OTEC plants are going to be very expensive, and you need to be able to protect your investment. So to have something that is able to move and then be placed back in place to give you the necessary electricity quickly is very much necessary.
Well, yeah, that sounds like a
Sounds a
very good
little bit
idea, doesn't it? Sounds
sounds a little
familiar.
bit familiar.
Yeah. Awesome. So what are you optimistic about? Like, what does 20 years into the future look like for Barbados?
What my hope for Barbados is, because currently there is within the Barbados National Energy policy, there's no ocean-based energy within the policy plans. And my hope is that we begin to look outside of this very small landmass into the very large economic exclusive zone that we have to generate the necessary energy, not only for this country, but you could look into, because we're a small island state, splitting these OTEC systems or these large systems between the Caribbean islands to really help further the sector region-wide.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
Kashawn Hall, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And thanks for your comments.
Good.